if America withdraws moral support, if American leaders stop publicly supporting Netanyahu and his government, then that is a fairly serious blow for Israel that Israel can't really afford. Biden, as we know, very early on stood behind Netanyahu, said Israel had his full support. It's still the American policy that to support the ground invasion of Gaza, and Netanyahu's plan, the Israeli Prime Minister's plan to eradicate Hamas, certainly to remove it as a governing force in Gaza. But you've seen certain shifts. I mean, quite early on, there was mention of civilian deaths, and there was more overt messaging from the Biden administration about avoiding civilian deaths. And then Tony Blinken came to Israel and to the region 10 days ago, last week, 7 days ago, and started sending this very clear message that the whole operation was an American view, time limited, that and we understand, my colleague Anshel Pfeffer, who's very well sourced in the Israeli apparatus, has been told that Blinken gave that message very clearly to Netanyahu, that the Biden administration wants to see this ground invasion and the bombing of Gaza to stop around this time next month, end of the first week in January.
Anthony Blinken was at a press conference with the UK Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron in Washington, D.C. last night. What's he saying publicly?
Well, he says that we don't tell other countries what to do, that this is Israel's war, and Israel obviously gets to choose how and when to start and finish it. The pressure is, I suppose, more subtle than that. Israel depends on America for weapon supplies. I mean, no suggestion that would be taken away. There's no suggestion of any actual sanction against Israel if it doesn't end in a month. I think it's just that what happens then is the messaging changes from America. That's something that Israel also relies on. It relies on America to use its soft power, if you like, in the world to defend Israel's case.
So the US will keep the potential threat of withdrawing military support to Israel on the table. They probably won't exercise it, but it basically allows
them.
I
don't think that's that's not the sanction. I don't think America would ever threaten Israel's military supplies. I think the pressure comes more subtly than that. If as I say, if America withdraws moral support, if American leaders stop publicly supporting Netanyahu and his government, then that is a fairly serious blow for Israel that Israel can't really afford.
Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General, he's taken the rare step of invoking Article 99 of the UN Charter to tell the Security Council that the Gaza situation threatens world peace. The United Arab Emirates says it will table a resolution for a ceasefire. Just talk us through that.
So the United Nations, Guterres particularly, is very worried about the fallout from what might happen in Gaza. There's basically two views of what Israel's campaign is doing. Israel thinks that it will be able to destroy Hamas, get rid of it, and then somehow Gaza will rebuild. I mean, an Israeli intelligence officer I was speaking to the other day was using sort of medical testimonies, talking about which you hear quite a lot, of Gaza being a seriously sick patient with cancer, and you have to ravage the body to remove the cancer to give it any hope of survival. I mean, that's quite a grim. Quite a few of these quite grim metaphors are being used. The UN sees the physical destruction of Gaza, the destruction of its people, the killing of, I think now 17,000 people, and the destruction of its infrastructure as being likely to spawn new conflict, new violence. They talk about public order breaking down in Gaza. You've got more than 2 million people now crammed into a tiny area of southern Gaza. with all sorts of humanitarian consequences. And they see the UN sees that as a breeding ground for, I mean, not only terrible in its own right, but a breeding ground for more conflict in the future. So you have two widely different views there. And Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, and people who support that UN position, the UN institutional position, if you like, will be up against America and other countries that want to, still stand with Israel's right to defend itself, as Israel puts it.